Have you ever stopped to think that your greatest weapon for winning a woman's heart isn't your looks, gifts, or sweet words? In reality, it's a simple, almost imperceptible attitude that can cause an emotional earthquake in her soul, making her connect with you like she's never connected with anyone else. It's an attitude that doesn't involve declarations of love, promises, or vows of passion. But before I continue, I invite you to get my e-book, with canonical teachings for all men. The link is in the description. Moving on the contrary, it's something with a touch of coldness, of disinterest, of mystery. Not to please her ego, but to confuse her, to make her wake up in the middle of the night wondering, why can't I get him out of my head? Why do I want him so much, even knowing he isn't chasing me? The strong, independent, and confident woman isn't immune to passion like you might think. She just needs a man who is different from the others, a man who causes a delicious psychological chaos within her, that internal conflict between, why does he treat me like this? And, the more he pulls away, the more I want him. In this video, I won't give you cheap tricks or advice that everyone has already heard. We're going to dive deep into psychology, uncovering how a small psychological provocation, used with intelligence, can redefine the map of her emotions. I'll show you how small gestures, when deliberate, can reprogram her feelings for you. And how calculated indifference can be used as a way to reflect your thinking. What is this? Calculated indifference can become an irresistible tool to make her obsessed without understanding why. But pay attention. What we're going to discuss here is not cruelty or cheap manipulation. It is the subtle art of understanding the female mind and reading the hidden needs she doesn't reveal to anyone. Stay with me until the end, because I'm going to give you the one phrase that can shake her world and make you feel like the most powerful man in her life. Without needing to lay a finger on her mind. Or raise your voice. Before we begin, answer quickly. Has it ever happened that you pulled away from a woman for no reason, and after a few days, she came back more confused, more needy, and more in love than before? If so, you're about to understand why. If not, you are just a few minutes away from having the key that can change the game forever. Tell me in the comments. Because what you're about to hear now is something you'll never forget. Right. Being always nice doesn't always work. You might believe, in good faith, that being the nice guy is the shortest path to a woman's heart. Always being available, being understanding, kind, helpful, interested in every detail of her life, and making her feel that she is not just a woman, but a universe that deserves all your sacrifice. But what if I ask you, have you ever wondered why, after so much dedication, she suddenly pulls away? Why does she get bored, her feelings cool down, and she starts acting with indifference, as if you had never been her favorite guy? The answer is simple and, at the same time, frightening. A woman does not fall in love with someone who showers her with attention, but with the one who makes her question her value in his eyes. When you are always available, respond instantly, fulfill all her wishes without her even having to ask, and you give her an opportunity. Right. Suddenly, she wants to try again, falling more and more in love, without even realizing it. And here comes the golden rule that most men ignore. First, too much attention without mystery extinguishes the flame of passion. Second, attention with a touch of mystery creates an irresistible obsession. A woman doesn't want 100% clarity, she wants to see a part of you and try to unravel the rest. She likes to feel that you want her, but that you don't need her, that you value her, but you don't grovel for her. If you lay all your cards on the table right away, you're not giving her love, but the end of the story before it even begins. What is the small provocation that causes an emotional earthquake? Before revealing the secret, let's understand. When we talk about provocation, we are not talking about offense, humiliation, or insults. It's not rudeness or disrespect. We are talking about a subtle and calculated psychological touch that hits the female ego without causing deep wounds. It is not cruelty, but psychological cunning disguised as calmness. Imagine the following situation. She sends you a long message, full of affection, talking about her day. She expects a response in kind, but you reply with a single word, okay. Or she hints that she misses you, expecting something romantic. But you respond coldly, I was busy, I'll see you later. Or even, she tries to make you a little jealous by laughing with another guy in front of you. You look at her, but you don't say anything, as if it were nothing at all. On the outside it seems trivial, but on the inside, a small earthquake is happening. Because you make her question her position in your life. You make her think, did I lose my charm? Did the way he sees me change? Did I do something wrong? Am I not enough for him? This refined psychological provocation awakens the woman in her who hates feeling invisible and activates the secret desire to prove her worth. She begins to go after you, to flirt indirectly. And the more you ignore her signals, the more she becomes emotionally dependent, without even realizing it. That's when the magic happens. You haven't offended or humiliated her with words. You have simply used the art of tactical withdrawal at a time when she yearned for your attention. This attitude, which seems simple on the outside, but is powerful on the inside, opens a door in her subconscious that connects emotional pain with the desire for possession. She begins to fall in love and need you, not because you love her more, but because you have left her more confused. It's a moment of imbalance, the most crucial. It's the moment when the balance of power. It's the moment when the balance of power inverts, without a word being said. Why does a woman fall in love with someone who confuses her? Apparently, women like clarity, attention, and emotional security. But deep down, in their subconscious, they are more attracted to men who confuse them, who don't leave them 100% secure. Men who plant a pleasant doubt, not a monotonous certainty. Because the female mind doesn't just respond to logic, but to emotional fluctuations. And passion doesn't grow on flat ground, but on uneven ground, in places that are not watered all the time. Thus, the thirst for attention becomes stronger, deeper, and more addictive. In psychology, there is a concept called intermittent reinforcement. Basically, it's when a reward, like attention or love, isn't predictable. It appears from time to time and disappears at other times. This keeps the person, in this case, the woman, in a state of constant expectation. She never knows when she's going to get what she wants. This technique is used in gambling, addiction, and even social media apps. The more uncertain the reward, the harder the reward is, the more you cling to it. Imagine when that reward is the attention of an attractive man. When a woman doesn't understand your feelings, she starts to analyze every gesture, every word, every look. Without realizing it, she becomes obsessed with deciphering you. She observes you, questions you, rereads your messages, and looks for any clue in your eyes. And the more the doubt increases, the more curiosity grows. And the more curiosity, the more passion intensifies. But if she knows exactly what you're going to say, when you're going to call, and how you're going to show your love, there's no room for imagination or surprises. The desire is extinguished, the feelings cool down, and the game dies before it begins. A woman doesn't fall in love with someone who is predictable. She falls in love with someone who creates a small void in her, making her want to complete it. She doesn't fall in love with someone who gives everything for free, but with someone who makes her feel that his love is a prize that needs to be earned, not a gift that is simply given. She is not attracted to someone who gives himself completely, but to someone who keeps a part of himself mysterious and distant, as if he were still out of her reach. That's why when you confuse her with a gesture, a word, or a calculated silence, you open a door in her mind that doesn't close easily. A door of mystery, of questions, of desire. This, in psychology, is called the desire that arises from slight pain. The feeling of uncertainty and lack generates an ardent desire to get closer, to understand you, to have you completely. The difference between smart indifference and destructive offense. Here you have to walk a fine line. If you don't know the difference between smart indifference and direct offense, you can go from a mysterious and attractive man to a toxic and detestable guy. What separates seduction from destruction? The intention and the attitude. First, what is a destructive offense? A destructive offense is any attitude that makes the woman feel small, insignificant, or undervalued as a person. For example, making jokes about her appearance or her dreams in front of others. This is an attitude that makes the woman feel small, others, despising her feelings, cruelly ignoring her in moments of fragility, or deliberately humiliating her to exert control. These tactics are not mysterious or masculine, they are simply abusive. They destroy her self-esteem and plant the seeds of anger and revenge. A woman may even accept indifference, but she will never forget humiliation. She may be attracted to someone who confuses her, but she will hate someone who despises her. Second, what is smart indifference? Smart indifference does not come from contempt, but from an inner strength. It is the art of being silent at the right time, of pulling away when necessary, and not chasing her all the time. For example, responding more slowly to messages to show that you are not always available, politely refusing a request of hers so she understands that you have a strong opinion, going offline for a few hours when you know she is waiting for your message, just to readjust the rhythm of the relationship, or making her feel that your affection is not given easily and that she needs to deserve it. Smart indifference is not violence, but rather an aura of silent power. It is a subtle way of showing that you are not a guy who is easily tamed and that despite being attracted to her, you have control over yourself. And that's where the psychological game is. With smart indifference, you confuse her and she misses you. With a destructive offense, you humiliate her and she rejects you. A woman is enchanted by the silent strength of a man, not his rudeness. She is attracted by his dignity, not his contempt. And she falls in love with someone who ignores her with elegance, not someone who humiliates her with anger. The phrase that can light the flame, the passion, and keep her thinking about you for days. Sometimes you don't need many words to mess with a woman's heart. A single phrase, spoken calmly and confidently, can cause a stir, arouse curiosity, and make her ask that ancient question. Who is this guy? And why can't I have control over him? And the phrase that causes all this impact is simply, I don't fall in love easily. The woman I choose needs to understand that my presence is not something you can buy just with emotion. Imagine the effect of this phrase on her mind. You are not attacking, threatening, or insulting her. You are showing that you are different. That you are a rare man, with your own criteria, depth, and limits. With this phrase, you gain a place in her mind that no other man can reach, because you haven't shown neediness but rather the power of choice. You didn't say, I don't love you, but implicitly, you may please me, but I don't let just any woman into my world, only if she is really worth it. This phrase awakens in her the greatest of all feminine desires, to prove that she is worthy, to accept the challenge, and to want to be the only exception in your world. And that's where the obsession begins. That night, she won't be able to sleep without thinking. Was he serious? Am I among the women? Am I among the women he would consider? Can I make him change his mind? Will he see something in me that will make him open his heart? You have planted the seed of sophisticated obsession. That obsession that doesn't just come from jealousy, but from a deep admiration for your personality. To finish, keep this rule in mind. A woman doesn't fall in love with the man who gives her everything on a silver platter, but with the one who makes her question. Who is this man? And why can't I have him with my mind? Why can't I have him with my mind? She may be attracted by your appearance, your voice, your words, but she will only truly fall in love if you create an emotional short circuit in her mind, that kind of mystery that logic cannot explain. It is not beautiful words that keep her interested, but scarce, dense, and confident words, spoken at the right time. Words that do not try to prove masculinity, but show it effortlessly. The subtle indifference. That touch of love, that psychological touch that destabilizes her confidence for an instant can be more powerful than 1,000 declarations of love, because it makes her feel that you are not easily won over and that you are not one of those men who flirts with anyone who smiles at them. Smart indifference is being present in her life, but not belonging to her for. It is loving her without giving yourself completely. It is knowing when to get closer and when to give her space to present herself. Smart indifference is being present at the right time, with a calm voice and a deep look. It can cause a storm of doubts, curiosity, and attraction, and it will keep her thinking about you silently, missing you, and trying to deny it even to herself. So if you want to become an unforgettable man, don't be abundant, be rare, don't always be clear, be mysterious with intelligence. Don't be available without conditions. Choose yourself first, and let her fight to have you. If you've made it this far, you are not just any guy, but one of the few who plays with smart indifference. If you have made it this far, like, comment, and share with that friend who needs a reality check. See you in the next video. Forward, warriors.